Hello. Hello, one and all. It is I, Logan. Hello. Okay, that's good. I forgot to plug the microphone in. There we go. Right, so let's play some Snatcher. This is part 3. Nobody is in chat yet. We will see how it goes. Alright, so when we last left off, we met up with Napoleon, and he told us about this club called Outer Heaven. I did a quick walkthrough. Apparently, I'm just supposed to go to the caravan, which I must have missed the first time. One thing I will mention, though, I found out a couple interesting things. Apparently, there's a game on the PlayStation. One of you guys might have actually mentioned it already, but it's called Police Knots, another Kojima game, and it's on PlayStation. Unfortunately, it's only in Japanese, but it does seem like somebody has patched it, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so, the other thing, let's enter the Chernocopter. And we have... Huh. Okay, so it isn't, Well, let's go here first. I might, I met with Napoleon, so... Alright. So, something I thought was kind of interesting. If you look at the, where is it? If you want, where's the, thing? There's supposed to be a thing, in the US version at least, where, there's a burnt out thing. It says, eat good meat, I think it says. But part of the thing is actually burnt out, so it actually just says eat meat. Which is, I thought very funny. The Japan version is even better. It says pachinko, but it's burnt out to say chinko, which is actually Japanese slang for penis. Look for Napoleon. I still have not contacted Napoleon. Okay. Crap. Okay. I need to ask Metal Gear, right? Whoa, Love Line. I didn't even notice that. 395644. Yeah, I think I've, there is no answer. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's great meals. Never mind. Hello, Chad. Did I just soft lock the game? I might have, because I know I'm supposed to, because, no, they wouldn't have made it that easy. So I know I was supposed to talk to Napoleon, and he was supposed to say, like, oh, you need a mask to enter Outer Heaven. Oh, you beat this game yesterday. Do you stream? Out of curiosity? I'm kind of curious. Are you making any progress? So, you're supposed to ask Napoleon about something, and he's supposed to tell you to get the mask, to, like, get a mask about, oh, maybe I just need to ask about Outer Heaven. I thought I did, but maybe, I don't know. No, okay, you didn't stream it. Well, this is a really fun game. Apparently there's a couple Kojima games sort of like this. Police Knots is one. I would like to, yeah, the mask in Outer Heaven. Here's the thing, I've somehow, it's supposed to come up with the Planet Caravan and, or the Caravan, whatever it is, and, not Planet Caravan, that's a Black Sabbath song. Yeah, I got Police Knots to play that. Yeah, I want to play that. Here's the thing. It was only released in Japan, and I understand there is a way to patch it. That said, how would you patch a CD? I would imagine it's not the same way as, like, downloading IPS patch. Huh? Did you show the cache? Yes, I did. I did. All of this was done in the last stream. But it doesn't show the caravan when I go to the Churna site, whatever it's called. But here's the thing. I would imagine it's not as simple to patch a PlayStation disc as it is, you know, just doing like IPS patcher for, you know, Lagrange points or some non-translated Japanese game. There is an English ROM. Oh, I did not see that. I looked on Cool ROMs and it just had a bunch of Japanese ROMs. I don't know. I will look that up. I'll look up Police Knots English ROM. That might be something I might play after this, honestly. Oh yeah, so I have, like, gone through all of this, I think. CD Romance, okay. I will check that out. That might be useful if you can get, like, English versions of Japanese-only games. Maybe I could... Oh, maybe I could have gotten, like, the English version of Snatcher. It's probably too late at this point. Because that game was also released on, PS1 version is censored, but has audio and animation. Yeah. Yeah, I know. At this point, it's probably too late to, like... Because I've, like, gotten far enough into the game. But, yeah. What if I just... You know what? Translations. I will check that out. Usually when I do, like... Let me undo... Can I undo a save state? Crap. Because I had a save state, like, before this. Okay. And then load. Did you show Gibson's... Here's the thing, I can't talk to Napoleon. That's the thing, though. Like, I quit out of Napoleon too early, and now I can't contact him, because... Wait, hang on. If I try to call him... Just to make sure I have the right number, it is 395644. 95644. It just keeps ringing, and oh shit, now it works. I don't know what it did, but okay, so now it works. Got it. The 100 day? Please input... Oh, okay. Wait, the 100 day. Is it still the, same one? The 100 day. Oh, it was... It was the revolution before. The 100-Day War? Shit, I have to go back to Jordan then. I know before it was the revolution is ended, which is hilariously just, like, not in any way grammatically correct. But, yeah, I used Google for Napoleon's stupid puzzle. Well, I just used Jordan, and normally it's the revolution is ended, but, honestly, it's going to be quicker for me to, like, just input it into Jordan, figure it out myself. The revolution is ended. Having been the 100-Day regime. Okay. Wait. Oh, 100-Day reign. Whatever. It keeps changing. Oh, fuck you. Okay, so it's the 100-Day reign. Okay, don't put any quotation marks in the answer. I figured. I didn't even think you could. I don't think there are quotation marks on the, Watch, it's not going to pick up again. Oh, okay. Rain. So I need to, yeah, I need to show the picture, I think. Or I think I did, but I don't know. There was something I was supposed to do and then didn't do it. Did I not spell rain right? The last shooting scenes. Oh my god. I remember. So I have, as I mentioned before, I've played this before. And the place where I stopped at, I think it was like the second or third shooting scene. And that was just insane. But yeah, you have to be near perfect with aim. And that's the part where I always struggle the most. I could not imagine. I was gonna say, like, maybe if you had a justifier back in the day, I could imagine that actually being harder. Alexa, spell rain. Shoot, that's not gonna be the right rain though.
Rain is spelled R-A-I-N.
Yeah. R-A... No, it's E, right? E-I-G-N. Maybe I put an H in before. I might have. Okay, that's what I did. Got it. Okay. Now I need to go back and undo my mistake. Got it. Well, if anybody ends up watching this in the future, this might actually be good because I imagine I won't be the... I won't be the only person who has made that mistake. Yeah, I figured it out. Well, not misspelling rain, but I mean, like, not asking Napoleon all the questions and showing him everything. Because, like, sometimes Napoleon just didn't answer. I had to call him a few times in order for it to actually work. I was just showing this earlier, kind of a cool Easter egg, but since somebody's in the chat, there's a place in the plaza, and I found this out while looking at a Let's Play just before streaming. Oh, where did the thing go? Okay. Oh, there it is. Check it out. Eat me. In the Japanese version, it's actually pachinko, and the PA is actually burnt out, so it says chinko, which is Japanese slang for penis, apparently. Look, it might have been nearby people. There we go. Oh shoot, no. There we go. So let's show the picture. Junker ID photo. There we go. Liquid sky. Believe me. What the hell does that mean? Let's just do everything, because this is kind of that game where... Okay, so what is liquid sky? It's that drug that's really popular right now. Shit, that's a good name for a drug. Liquid sky. Excuse me while I liquid sky. Okay. Runs this island. Mr. Big. Nice, You know what? I already made a hair metal reference in the title. I don't think we need another one. Oh, location of club. I'm not doing this for fun, you know. I'm gonna need a little something. Fuck you. Okay. Outer Heaven location. It's on 17th Street in HS District. A mask. Okay, that might be it. I might have solved it. Just to make sure, Plateau's okay. It's a black market where you can buy without a permit. They've got absolutely everything there. I think Gibson stopped by there quite a bit himself. Why don't you visit this place? Okay. See, I want to, like, quit out now, but I'm afraid that it's going to, like, do the thing that it did before. Buffalo Cuisine Restaurant. Baptist. I think this is everything. Thanks, I owe you. And... success, I think. Yeah, Outer Heaven. Let's go. Did you show the shop the sunscreen too? I haven't, I don't think I've gotten to the shop yet. Maybe it's this.
Welcome to Outer Heaven. Table for one?
Oh my god. Hideo Kojima invented furries. Okay. About Gibson. Who are you talking about? Can I show the photo? Okay. Dude, if you're like... Okay, why are you trusting me to say, like, oh, we have buffalo, this, like, rationed item that's been outlawed and you can't get anymore? Also, kind of another bit of, like, interesting thing. I made a joke the last stream about, like, if we, like, wouldn't phone numbers be longer and not shorter if this takes place in the future? No, because actually kind of cool, like, attention to detail. Remember the incident that, like, blew up a whole bunch of people. So, yeah, you don't need as many numbers now in a phone number if, like, most of the population has been wiped. So, let's see. Let me just see if I can show the sunscreen. Okay. We've got a special arrangement with Plateau's Canyon. If you don't buy one of their masks, I'm afraid you can't get in. Okay. Okay, ask about the location. You must have seen the commercials for Plateau's I'm quite sure that the phone number for the place is public information. Why don't you just call them and ask? If you go to Alton Plaza or other night spots, there's lots of ads for the place. Okay, got it. Cool. So let's go back there then. Okay, gotta look for Planet Caravan. Or, not Planet Caravan, Plateau Caravan. Investigate advertising. There are many ads. There's an advertisement for that Plateau's Cavern. Okay, I finally said it right. Kojima watched Terminator and said Arnold Schwarzenegger could have sunscreen during the close scene. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, so where is the Planet Caravan? Is it on the changing billboard? I think it is. Oh! 691170. Okay. Nice. 70. Okay. Okay, I see. No. Here we go. I think it's interesting how the T800...
Thank you for calling Plato's Cavern, the store with everything. May I help you?
Oh my god, that is like... Oh my god, this is giving me like Thallison vibes. Has anybody seen like the kind of like analog creepypasta Thallison? It's like... It's like one of those analog... I think they call it like analog horror. And basically it's just like, take this medication and you can experience like these creepy emotions that distort your face and just make you a hollow tusk. Nights become the ozone is gone. So can I confess something? I've only seen the second Terminator movie. I saw a little bit of the first one, and just immediately kind of just looked like exponentially more cheesy than the second one, so I assumed it wasn't as... It is! It is! I haven't heard of it. Okay, check it out at some point. It's Thallison. I can't remember who did it, but it's like... I don't know why. I'm just obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with it for a couple months. I saw it on Vinesauce months ago. Huh, audio only, eh? No doubt it's because they are involved in the black market. Ask about location of store. We're located... Okay, got it. Yeah, but I've actually never seen the first Terminator movie all the way through. I need to. I know at one point it was actually free on YouTube. I might need to check if it is again, because if it is, I'll need to check it out. I know people love the second Terminator, but it removed the horror, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, the second Terminator, I just think, like, it removed the horror. It's not as much of an action movie, but in general, I think it's just an overall more well-rounded movie. At point, all movies were free on YouTube. No, but I mean, Terminator was actually free through YouTube Movies. And there actually are still, I think, a couple, but there was a time when Terminator was free on YouTube Movies, officially through YouTube. And I don't know if that's the case anymore, but either way. So, interesting thing, I actually have Netflix DVD by mail. And if all else fails, if none of the streaming services have it, I can just rent it through DVD. Yes, Netflix DVD by mail is still a thing. They just call it DVD.com, the world's most generic, domain name. But it is still a thing, and I use it all the time. I do not like Netflix's streaming. They never have anything good, I think, and even their originals I'm not a huge fan of. Like, I'm kind of just watching Stranger Things because my one friend is kind of obsessed with it, and admittedly, it is good. I watched the first 2 seasons years ago, and the second season was honestly so bad that it turned me off the entire show. Now I'm watching the third one, I'm like, oh my god, this is starting... That's how they started. I didn't know Netflix sends DVDs. That's how they started. Actually back in the 90s. In fact, in a cruel twist of irony, Netflix was offering themselves to Blockbuster, and Blockbuster rejected it. So, if Netflix had been sold to Blockbuster, who knows? I hate that song now. Running up. Everything available. Yeah. Black market shops. Why would you advertise that you're part of the black market? Like, oh hey, here's somebody who is essentially a police officer, but kinda, sorta, not really. Anyway, let's advertise black market shit on our answering machine, our automated messaging machine. Okay, genius. Yeah. But anyway, Netflix on DVD, it's actually cheaper than Netflix streaming. Netflix streaming is expensive as hell now. They've, raised their prices a couple of months ago. Now it's, $20 a month. Netflix DVD, I believe, is still $10 a month. And it has much more of a wide variety of stuff. If you get the chance, if you're a huge movie buff and you always hate that streaming never has the stuff that you want, you can get obscure stuff, stuff that has not been on streaming, that is literally not on any streaming service, and you can't even buy it through, iTunes or Google or something. Even then, Netflix DVD might still have it. You heard Rob Zombie's The Masters is now coming to Netflix instead of Peacock. Oh, I didn't know Rob Zombie was doing a version of The Munsters. Okay, though, I have a bone to pick with Rob Zombie. So, people on this channel aren't going to know this, but I have another channel, actually. It's called End Times Media, and the thing that I did was I one of the things that I did when Halloween Kills came out. I haven't used that channel in a while, by the way, so, you can subscribe if you want. It's so bad. Yeah, dude, fuck Rob Zombie. I was saying, in preparation for Halloween Kills, I watched, all of the other Halloween movies. I saw Halloween 2007, which was definitely nowhere near the quality of, like, Halloween 1978, but it was okay, I guess. Generally speaking, it followed the plot of the first Halloween movie. And then Halloween 2. Oh my god. Like, horror fans will know what I'm talking about. NBC gave him $40 million to make the film. They decided not to stream it after the trailer. Holy shit, it's that bad? I mean, it's Rob Zombie. I can believe it. Halloween 2, I think, is the worst movie I've ever seen. And for those who know me, this is true of music, this is true of video games, this is true of movies. I have a high tolerance for bullshit. I believe there is such a thing as so bad it's good, and I relish in it. This movie taught me that there is such a thing as so bad it's bad. It's one of the few movies I would honestly say is unwatchable. It's like Rob Zombie and, like, Mike Myers, like, grunts and, like, kind of talks in the in the movie. There's, like, this, like, white horse thing that I'm sure Rob Zombie thought was super uber deep. And it was just, like, so, like, hey, I just opened up, like, a random psychology book, and it was like, white horse represents, like, fuck you. Anyway, long story short, I have a bone to pick with Rob Zombie, and even his recent albums haven't been that great. His wife played Lily. Exactly! Like, yeah. Oh, his wife played Lily Munster. Oh, his wife was in the Halloween 2 movie as well. I think his wife might have played, Laurie, might have played Laurie. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure his wife was in Halloween 2. Even his recent albums have not been very good. Like, what was the one he just released? I forgot the name of the album. Honestly, the name of the album was, like, the best part, because it was, like, absurdly long and stupid. But, yeah, like, there's, like, one song where it's, like, smoke some grass, eat some ass. And it was just basically that. And it was, and there was another song, it was like, Ram-a-lama, Ram-a-lama-loo. And, like, it's so bad, it makes other Rob Zombie albums, other better Rob Zombie albums, look worse. Because it just makes you realize how unbelievably stupid Rob Zombie's quote-unquote writing was. And you can't see air quotes. Quote-unquote writing is. Like, it's just like... It's just... It's like shit that sounds cool, but really means nothing. So he'd be a great politician. Alright. Let's go to Plateau Cavern. Anyway, sorry about that rant. But this is your fault, Chad, for bringing up Rob Zombie. Because, you don't want to... I have a lot to say about Rob Zombie. And White Zombie, too. I do not discriminate against zombies. Yeah, but if you're a horror fan, Honestly, my rant might have inspired people to watch Halloween 2. Don't. I'm promising you, do not watch this movie. And the more I say it, I know the more I say it, the more you're going to watch it. If you haven't already, do not watch this movie. Alright, let's buy the mask. Smell. Smells good! Nearby people. Let's enter the store. Buy. I can buy happiness. Shit. About Gibson. Who's this guy? Outer Heaven? Where'd you get that? Well, you know. Really? Well, you know how your stuff, Outer Heaven, is that really hot masquerade club. Okay, so can I buy the mask now? No. Can I show a picture of Gibson? Oh wait, no, he said show the sunscreen. Let's do that real quick. Yeah, we sell that here. The world's getting weirder all the time. We had the Chinese doctor in here, Napoleon. Chinese doctor. A little guy with a beard, maybe. He was in here with some guy who looked Jewish. They bought them all a whole box. Who's the Jewish guy? That would have been a good question, though. Who's the Jewish guy now? Is there someone else we need to... Show photo. Wait a second. I've seen this guy somewhere. Are you looking for somebody? Okay, well see. Should I show the picture again? Oh, what was this guy's name? Got it. Who's this guy? Who, this guy? He comes here all the time. There we go. That's right, he bought some sunscreen here just the other day. Now let's ask about Gibson. That guy was always in here. Said he liked antiques or something. But I didn't know. Lately, he seemed like he was here for something else. I think he was stalking somebody out. Come to think of it, he was always asking about sunscreen, too. He's just a customer. I don't know anything about him personally. Products. Well, that's there. Mask. Okay. So can I buy the mask now? I can't. A full face mask, eh? Which one will it be? They're all so good. Handmade by Rick Bakery himself. You know? Rick Bakery. I might need to, look that up in Geordie at some point. The man behind the JG incident. I don't know anything about that, but anyway, hi! The JG incident. This one I think I need to buy. Do I need to buy any sunscreen? We don't have any more in stock. I don't get it, man. What about happiness? You can't buy that with money, you know? Fuck you. I think that's everything. Possessions. Alright, so let's go back to Outer Heaven. Okay. Use mask. Go inside. Table for one, please. Exit. Investigate. Call. Dancer, manager. Call the manager. Ask about Gibson. Yeah. I do. I'm afraid I don't know him. You see, nearly half of our operating... Oh, fair enough. Is masquerade hour, so I wouldn't know who he was. Okay. Who is Isabella? She'll be dancing here through the end of the month. Show. Can I show? I don't think I want to show the Junker ID because then he's gonna know, like, I'm authority and might get suspicious. Finish questioning. Okay, who can we call now? Call the dancer. See if she knows anything. Oh my god. Okay, I think she's clothed enough to where I can show her. Jesus Christ, I was not expecting that. About Gibson. Video phone number. Okay, let's ask about Gibson and then we can try and hook up with this stripper. I don't know who you're talking about. Do you have a picture or something? I mean, I'll show the picture again, but I assume it's not going to make a difference. This guy? I might have met him somewhere. No, I can't remember. She might need to remember. Take a careful look, okay? This was the guy who got sick after eating buffalo, I remember. Hi, Chad. Welcome back. The other day, it wasn't masquerade hour, so I remember his face pretty clearly. He seemed to be waiting around for one of our regular customers. A regular? He was going out of his way to eat buffalo, then he spat up blood. I was really grossed out. It was more like he was following him. He left as soon as the other guy did. Well, okay, now we need to... About that man. Would you mind telling me a little bit about him? I don't know his name, but he was in here all the time. Especially when we weren't running Masquerade Hour. Outside of Masquerade Hour, so that means you've seen his face. Do you remember? I think so. Alright, Metal. Let's have her come down to headquarters. We can't take her to headquarters. Why not? Well, it's like the manager said, she's a star actress. If the media were to find out about this, we'd never get any... This is really a delicate issue. Although inconvenient, we should take down her description and then go back to headquarters to build the montage on our own. Okay. Video phone number? Oh. What is your taste in men? Let's see, somebody really masculine who you can depend on. You know, I mean, to be fair, my guy, I don't know if you can depend on him, but he's definitely masculine. I might be getting a used Switch next month. Congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, I play on my Switch all the time. Tons of great games. Honestly, at some point I might, considering how much I'm enjoying doing this, I might start, doing, like, maybe some of my Switch backlog, streaming that. It'll be, like, kind of a good excuse to sort of play that. Like, I've needed to play Octopath Traveler for so long. I mean, obviously, all the Mario and Zelda games, I mean, it's a Nintendo console. Obviously, they're going to be there, and they're going to be there, you know, they're going to be there, and they're going to be good. Beyond that, I mean, like, there's just so many good Switch games. And honestly, if for nothing else, it's just convenient to have something portable. You don't realize how convenient that is until you get one. Like, I play my Switch all the time in bed. Even though I could easily just dock it and use a Pro Controller, I typically just play it in bed, because it's just more convenient that way. Future projects. Okay. Do something. Ask out on date, ask for autograph. Let's see. My autograph? Well, let's see. Don't have anything to write with. Oh, how about this? Whoa. Ah, I see that. I'm telling... Ask out on a date. Can that work? That was just an example. So a kiss just isn't good enough. Okay. Can I ask? Okay. So let's go back to Junker HQ. This guy is selling an Animal Crossing V2 Switch without Joy-Cons for $90. Honestly, I just like, as far as the Joy-Cons go, V2. Does that mean like the OLED one? But anyway, honestly, you don't want the Joy-Cons anyway. You know, you hear about a lot with Joy-Con drift. It's real. I've experienced it. My ex-girlfriend experienced it. I know lots of people personally and otherwise who have experienced it. It is a real issue. I recommend going third party, but here's the thing. Third party is not usually much better. No, the red box Switch with better... Oh, I forgot that happened. Hi, Dyer. What's going on? Not much. Just playing Snatcher, talking to chat. This is a fun game. I don't think I'm gonna order. Yeah, but, there's a Hori controller, Hori. That's probably the best way to go with Switch. Even then, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. There's no rumble. You can't use them as standalone controllers. You have to have them plugged into the Switch. If you plan on plugging it into the TV, that one's easy. Get a Pro Controller. Pro Controller might honestly be my favorite controller. It has some problems. Namely, I kind of wish it used the PlayStation layout, because I think that's better for the games that Switch was designed for. As it stands, it uses the 360, the Xbox layout. Yeah, Walmart here sells those Hori ones, too, for $50. Yeah, that's about what I paid for mine. I mean, they go on sale sometimes, but you have to make some sacrifices, but with those sacrifices, you get actual buttons, not like the terrible clicky ones that the Joy-Cons have. You get a thumbstick that works, and you have an actual D-pad. And it's just overall bigger. And plus, like, you also get turbo buttons, programmable turbo. You get programmable rear buttons, so you could, like, assign them to whatever you want. Maybe you could assign them to, like, the triggers. You could assign them to pretty much anything. Joy-Cons definitely have the most tech in them, but again, build quality is... It leaves a lot to be desired. I play handheld, my family uses the TV. Yeah, so I would suggest getting the Hori ones. I mean, you're gonna want to get Joy-Cons just for the games that require them. Like, Ring Fit Adventure, for example. If you're interested in that, you're gonna want to get Joy-Cons. Super Mario Party, I think, requires the Joy-Cons. Wii Sports, or Nintendo Switch Sports, rather, that I believe requires Joy-Cons. Pro Controller has most of the tech that the Joy-Cons have if you plan on using that. I recommend... I own all three of those. I own Joy-Cons, I own Hori, and I own the Pro Controller. That gets really expensive, but I think The Pro Controller is just the best controller you can get for Switch. Joy-Cons are necessary depending on what games you want to play. And Hori is probably the best way of playing in handheld mode, even though you have to make a lot of sacrifices. Oh, crap. Let's go back to HQ. Has your Hori controllers lasted longer than the official? Yes. Yes, definitely. With some battle damage, I will say that as they are better than the Joy-Cons, they still aren't great. Build quality is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's cheap, and it feels cheap, and you can definitely feel that as soon as you take it out of the box. That said, it is really easy to take apart, and that's something you will want to do. Sometimes the rail will come undone, so you'll want to take it apart and do that. Sometimes... that's really the only reason, but the other thing is that on mine, the rubber has come off on the thumbstick. Started with the left one, then the right one. Still very usable. It's still the thing that I use. But again, it's just like, Nintendo has, I would argue, the worst controller with the Switch. I used to say Nintendo 64. Joy-Cons may be my least favorite controller ever. Because even if they worked perfectly, they are just way too small. They have the terrible clicky buttons that Nintendo has insisted on using since the Game Boy Advance SP. If you're familiar with like Game Boy SP, most of the DS models, 3DS, it's like that. PS Vita, I think, even used the same thing. They are awful, in my opinion. They are too small. I do not like the clicky buttons because they do not have enough travel. They cause my, like, thumbs to get... They will cause, like, blisters on your thumbs, even. But... The Hori, it's kind of just, like, pick your poison, unfortunately. Because there are other third-party Joy-Cons, and they are all worse in one way or another than the Hori. Like, there's one, I can't remember the brand of it, but it was pretty cool. It had these, like, lights around the thumbsticks. But, the D-pad was always terrible. The D-pad was clicky. And then, after a while, it just kind of stopped really registering on, like, the right side. So, yeah, I don't remember which one that is, but don't get it. It's the one that, like, Spawnwave reviewed, and then, like, there was, like, a sticker inside the D-pad, which made it slightly less stiff, but still extremely stiff. That's the unfortunate reality, and Nintendo is still neglecting to admit that Joy-Con drift is an issue. And every minute that they do, and every minute that they put that off and neglect to admit that Joy-Con drift is an issue, every moment that happens is a moment wasted not improving the design. And, you know, even if it breaks, you aren't necessarily guaranteed to get a refund. I think for a little while they were doing it, but there was like certain stipulations. But honestly, Nintendo is just kneecapping their own system by not admitting defeat and saying it's a problem. Because, like, I know why they do that. Nobody wants to admit making a mistake, but Nintendo is using the issue to ignore the Joy-Con. Using that lawsuit to ignore the Joy-Con drift. Yeah, I understand why in the short term it makes sense, because, like, no company wants to admit defeat. But if they keep doing this, I think it's going to have a negative effect. Like, Switch at this point has already sold a ton. It's already made Nintendo stacks of money. But I think, like, if they kind of continue this mentality with another console, I think we will see a Wii U type situation where it's just like people are going to realize, oh yeah, Nintendo doesn't care about its customers. We knew that, but now it affects us. Okay. About Alice, I've heard of that. Okay. Like, Nintendo is just like, you want to like them because they make really good games. They make, I think, the best games in the industry. And as compared to a lot of game companies... Hi, Lit! How are you? As compared to a lot of companies, Nintendo is probably one of the less scummy companies out there. Because they are still making quality single-player games with a lot of depth, on par with the games that they made 20, 30 years ago. That said, and in some cases better. I would say, I would argue Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game up to this point. It takes everything that Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy did, and kind of refines it to a point where it's actually not a huge... It's not a huge burden. Just got off of work. Nice, Lit. Sit back, relax, and enjoy me failing at Snatcher. Let's go to the engineer first. He tends to be the most fruitful, I think. Ask about Outer Heaven, Alice. Okay. I've heard of that somewhere. It's the name of the post. Okay. Investigate. Well, actually, let's ask about Outer Heaven. Okay. Mask, evidence. Let's show the mask. You're still just a kid, aren't you? Yeah, you don't need to download 500 gigabytes for Nintendo's first-party games. Yeah, exactly. Even though I will say, the other thing you should do if you get a Switch, in fact, this one is a must. You need to get a micro SD card. It gives you like 32 gigs of storage. I think the new ones, the OLEDs, go up to I think 64, which is still not, which is I would say like the bare minimum of what you need. But I would recommend. I have a 64 gig card in there. I would recommend at least 128 gigs. I'm good with my 64 gig card. I really recommend you get 128 gigs though, because they're just so cheap. Like you can get them for like under $30, and or even a 256 is about the same price. But not even that. It's just like, Nintendo isn't doing the microtransactions at least as much. They are on like some of the kind of jankier free-to-play games that really nobody cares about. They did it with Mario Run. That was probably the most egregious, but it was more so just like, you got this free mobile game, and it's still $10, so it's like $10 as opposed to a $50 regular Mario game. I think it kind of made sense when they did that. And I mean, like, if you look at some of the stuff, like, EA, Activision, they're all in the news right now. For, toxic work environments and, crunch that is causing people, health to be in question. And not to mention just the shady shit they're putting onto the end consumers. Transactions, the play to win bullshit, the what is it called? Surprise mechanics. I'm surprised they don't put their mobile games on Switch. I think I see why they don't. I mean, they did. I mean, like, most of the Mario Kart DLC that they're kind of trickling on to the Switch, most of that is, like, left over from Mario Kart Tour, because now all of those have been, I think, delisted from the App Store. Mario Run might still be on there, but, I would say Mario Run is, like, the only one that you could conceivably put on Switch. Dr. Mario, I think, is maybe a little bit too touchscreen centric. I think there was like an Animal Crossing game that they had on iPhone as well. I haven't really checked that out. Yeah, honestly, I think it's a matter of time for them to port Mario Run over to the Switch. I think you would just need to, like, I think the big challenge would be, like, porting a game like that from a from portrait to landscape. Because, like, Mario Run, you had to put your phone upwards in portrait mode to play that. I could see Mario Run being on Switch. Mario Kart Tour essentially is on Switch, or at least it will be trickled onto Switch over the next year or two. Dr. Mario, I don't see. Miitopia, I think there was like a Miitopia game on Switch. Or there was a Miitopia game on mobile, rather. But, yeah. So, investigate, ask. Let's move. Can we... Let's go to computer room, but I don't think... I know the one guy, his name was Rick, so... Can we just type in Rick and get something? If not, I might need to go back to, Plateau Cavern. Okay. Well, let me do two things. I'm going to go back to Plateau Cavern and get this guy's name in case he might be important. And also I'm going to go back and see if I can get more information from the dancer. You know, and like Diablo Immortal even, that's been in the news lately because of again, it's basically, it's like kind of one of the most egregious uses of microtransactions up to this point, and the new Gran Turismo game on PlayStation. So like compared to those, Nintendo can kind of look slightly less scummy, but they still have a lot of problems. You have to make a 3D model of the suspect. How would you do that? A 3D model of the suspect. I don't think you can do that with Jordan. Unless... No, I would not know how to do something like that. Let's talk to the dancer again. Or, oh wait a minute. I never talked to the customers. I quit Diablo Immortal. They kept putting a level wall. Yeah, to progress the story. Okay, so you do have to use Jordan, but... Okay, hold on. Let me go inside and see if I can get some information, because I imagine you would need information to build a 3D model from scratch. Okay. Yeah, talk to the customers and manager. Okay. Oh, right, I need to put the mask back on. Investigate. Call... Let's talk to the manager again. Ask... that man. Oh, shit. This gentleman, let's see. Yeah, he's been coming regularly for about 3 months. He would always just sit there drinking moon salts, never ordering anything. Is that like futuristic moonshine? I don't know. To eat and staring at the other customers. We're little more than a typical nightclub that we get quite a few. Politicians, doctors, authors, and like in here. And the like in here. Customers like that follow. Like that fellow are quite a nutcase, you know? So masquerade time is a big hit with customers like that. Oh god. Oh my god, you know what I'm just realizing now? I think this movie just, like, predicted Eyes Wide Shut. Unless the book might have came out, like, before then. Maybe he got inspiration from that. But, like, the movie definitely came out after this game. Like, or, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, Eyes Wide Shut parties might be, like, a real thing. I don't know. Or, at least, like, the lore of it might have predated, the movie. But that's just what I'm thinking of, is Eyes Wide Shut. Ask, okay, I think that's it. customers. Okay. Oh my god, Contra, Castlevania pair, Mr. Yuda? That one I don't know. Goemon and Sparkster. Okay, Mr. Yuda, that's the only reference I don't get. That might be like a Japanese-only game. Well, I love the Castlevania games, so let's start with them. Again, I just love all of the in-references to, like, Konami and Hideo Kojima. This is just such a charming game. About that man. Wait, what's his name? I know, understand what you talk about. Simon. So it's Simon and Dracula. That's cute. Matt Gibson. Dracula. Okay. So he's useless. They're useless. Call customers Contra. You need something? I don't know. And nah, never seen it. Dire 51. Mr. Yuda worked for Konami at the time. As far as I know, he was one of the driving forces behind Axley? I don't know who that is. Is that a game? Axley? Okay, so yeah, he's like the guy behind Konami. Alright. Call customers. Well, let's call him. I don't want anything pushed on me, man. He gets into a fight with another guy. Of course they would make, like, you never heard of Axley. Is that a game? That doesn't... That one I don't think I've heard of. Axley. He gets into a fight with another guy. Gets hit hard with this steel pipe. You know. Doesn't even flinch, man. No way he's human. Man's features. What was the general shape of his face? A big circle, man. Really round. Yes. Best shooter ever made for the SNES. Whoa. Wait, that's not the game... That's not that game with, like, the weird, No, it's not, right? That's not the game with, like, the, I haven't heard of it, too. Okay, so I'm not alone. That's not the game with, like, the weird artwork, right? Of, like, the old man and the banjo? No, that's something different, isn't it? Do you think his testimony was accurate? Get real. He's just trying to yank her chain. Okay. Types of eyes. He had 2. Fuck you. So this guy is just 2 nostrils. Okay, so this guy is just like... Definitely older or younger than you, man. Okay, so he's just gonna be an asshole. Oh, phalanx! That's it. Yeah, Axley. Now I'm definitely gonna need to play that. You know what? Maybe after this, I might play at least a little bit of it. Maybe like 5 minutes. I could play it on stream if you guys wanted to. That's your incentive to stay around a bit longer. Okay, so he does know shit, he's just useless. Much like most CEOs are. I have to say, I'm genuinely surprised Axley's pretty legendary. Is it? I don't know. I mean, like, there are, like, so many, like, obscure Konami games that, like, especially a lot of, like, the Japanese ones. Like, what was the one? What's the one that I really like that nobody talks about on the Famicom Disk System? It's like something Nicole. It's like, reminds me a lot of Alien Syndrome on Master System. Hi, Zombie. Jealous if you... I do not. Nope, this is emulation. It's running on a PlayStation Classic. Watching while at work, dropping a like and share. Okay, thank you so much, Zombie. That is very, very appreciated. Okay, go Amon. Oh, shit, no. Al Senshai Nicole. Okay, yeah, that's it. Really good game. Reminds me a lot of, Alien Syndrome. There was also one that was, like, kind of proto-Bionic Commando, but not as good. And then there was, the one about, like, the fat penguin. I can't remember what that one is either, but it had, like, a GP. My first game system was the Game Boy Advance. Okay. Mine was actually a GameCube. I didn't own... So... I'll get into this. My first system was a GameCube. And the first 2 games I got on it were Monopoly Party and Shark Tales. I got sick of that really quickly, and thankfully my mom, just a couple of months later... Yes, that's the, Yumi Penguin Mono Gaiden. But yeah, soon after that, my mom got me a new Wii, and, you know, like a lot of people, that was my, my first console was a Rally 4? I don't know what that is. Sounds like a Pong clone. A Rally 4. Sounds like a Pong clone. You're not that old, are you, Dyer? Might be, I don't know. I'll call Sparkster. Yeah, and then after that I got a DSi, and then at that point I started really getting into gaming, and I started getting... Oh, it is a Pong clone, okay. Dude, I'm old. Okay, well now I know. Yeah, after that, I started getting into, like, gaming, and I'd always been into retro gaming. Like, even before I got a game console, I was playing NES games online. There used to be, like, a website, there were 2. There was one that was NES Cafe, and then there was another one where you could play NES games through, like, this Java plugin. And early on, I got really into retro gaming. I remember my brother was the one who was like, okay, well, you should check out the Mario games. So I went on there and I saw Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3. First one, I really liked. Second one, I thought was weird, because I didn't know you were supposed to, like, assumed the vegetables didn't do anything, and I assumed, like, wait, why can you jump on the enemies but they don't do anything, like the first one? I thought it was like, I don't know, maybe like a ROM, like, it was like a hack, or the game was broken or something. Old enough to have seen The Empire Strikes Back. Holy shit. Okay, that is old. I'm so sorry. Dude, I would love to... honestly, I'm jealous. I've been meaning to... So the Internet Archive has, I don't know the official name of it, but it's like an original 35mm print of A New Hope. I've been meaning to see that in VR. I know you can watch it in 4K and shit like that, and maybe I might do that at some point, but, what is it, Project 77? My friends would play those sites in computer class until they were caught, and yeah, the sites were blocked. Also, you needed to, like... Is Police Knots any good? We were just talking about that. It is, but you need to go to, and shit, I already... Is it called ROM Romance? Chad, can you drop the link to, that website you were talking about earlier? By default, it's in Japan, but there's an English translation you can get through this, one ROM site. I'm pretty sure it's called ROM Romance. Can you, back me up on that, Chad? About the man. Nope. Nope. Okay. So, Sparkster is useless. Okay, good. I didn't really like your game anyway. Hot take, I know. I don't like Rocket Knight Adventures. I actually don't like a lot of the Treasure games, believe it or not. And I know they're just Konami, but, like, Rocket Knight Adventures, Ristar, I never understood. CD Romance. Oh, I need my... Can I enable that on my iPad? I might be able to. Because right now I'm just viewing this through OBS. Add moder... Okay, perfect. So I can do that. Taxi Driver. Shit. That is an old one. Okay, so you should be a mod now. And actually, while I'm here, I'll give it to Dyer, because these are just the people I really know. I'll give it to Dyer, and I will give it to Lit. Oh, and Zombie. Zombie is here, too. Let me scroll up a little bit here, Lit. And, for those of you who are just joining, I'm pretty... Or, for those of you who are watching later... Oh, there you go. There we go. And Lit, you are now a mob. There you go. I added everybody I really trust. Yeah, you're welcome, everybody, for the mod. But... Yeah, I am... Yeah, for those of you who are watching later on, I believe you should be able to access the link in the replay if you just go onto live chat. Dyer51, I was alive when that was released, but not quite old enough to understand films yet. Oh, God. That's like approaching my mom's territory. Yep. You're welcome, everyone. Customers, okay. I think Goemon is the only one I haven't talked to yet. What are you talking about? finish question. Do I need to, like, bribe, because, like, the Konami guy, I might need to bribe him. Because he was, like, the only one who was at least almost helpful. I recommend PS1 English translation for Police Knots. I used Lemeroid, and it couldn't read the Saturn version for some reason. Honestly, I'm mostly using PlayStation Classic. It cannot run Saturn to save its life anyway. PS1 version censored, but is better audio and animation. Okay. There is a Saturn version of Snatcher, I recently found out. I don't know if it's the same as the PlayStation version or what, but or if it was even released over here. Probably not, because I'm almost positive the only version that was released in the States, the only thing at all related to Snatcher released in the States is just the Sega CD game. Ask. You be careful, man. Can you recall what he looked like? Yeah. I still have yet to see that one, which, honestly, I know I really need to, because I love Scorsese. Like Goodfellas, and The Departed is a really good movie. Sega CD version was the only one released in English without a translation. I had the PS1 and Saturn versions. I had more censored. I bet that dancer was censored. Okay, so let's see if we can bribe him. Possessions, show. You know what? We might have used up all our cash. Show. You know what? Let's show the Junker ID.
What the? Hey, this guy's a junker! Hey, we got ourselves a junker over here! Oh, you gotta be kidding!
Okay, well that's exactly what I thought would happen. Axley. That's the case where it didn't get stuck in Japan. It was released worldwide in '92. Okay, so I have no idea why I've never heard of this then, or why people aren't really talking about it. I never heard of it. Okay. Oh, The Irishman! Yeah, that's a good one, too. The Irishman. That's the one I was, like, trying to think of, too. I was like, I know there was, like... Oh, and also King of Comedy. That's a good one. I know about Darius and Truxton from Classic Game Room. Fuck yeah, dude! Classic Game Room. That was the shit! He's not really doing game reviews anymore. It seems like he's more focused on his comics, but Classic Game Room, man. If you didn't grow up with the Angry Video Game Nerd, you grew up with Classic Game Room. And most likely you grew up with both, but... I mean... yeah, I didn't know about Darius, but definitely Truxton. I will tell you, I was under the assumption... I did not know he was joking, so I was under the assumption that there was actually an obscure 80s band called Truxton that made a game, a song about a game from the night. I was a kid. I was like 9. I did not understand like his sense of humor. But anyway. Yeah, classic game room, man. They were the shit. I still say my favorite shooter, probably Parodius. Although I have been playing KO Fighting Squadron a lot lately. That one's really good on Sega CD. Also Zero Wing. That one just came out on, yeah, Mark was doing music podcast, and comics now. Oh! I haven't heard any of his music. He doesn't really talk to the fan base anymore. He shut down the forum site a while back. Interesting. I didn't know he had a podcast. What does he talk about on there? And where can I hear his music? Because I didn't know he did music. Like, I know the music that he used in the show was, like, off some random 20-year-old public domain CD. Lawrence Fishburne was only 14 during the filming of Epoch Now. That's another movie I've never seen. Okay, so we do need to use CGR Publishing. Okay. All I know about his comic stuff, that seemed like what he was, like, mostly... Like, that's mostly what you see on his YouTube channel. He has changed his name back to Lord Carnage, which it was for a little while before he kind of just quit the whole gaming side of YouTube. Which, fair enough. He's been doing that for, like, 20 years. He's basically been reviewing games before I was even alive. That's how old he is. So, I mean, like, it makes sense. After a while, you're just done. And, like, it was clear, like, his shtick was kind of getting formulaic anyway. People were saying as such. Too bad Konami can't re-release these old games like Capcom does. They are, though. That's the thing. I'm pretty sure Capcom... Him and Derek. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, what is Derek doing now? That's the one I'm more curious about. But... They are, though. Like, I'm pretty sure... Because, like, if you go on the stock PlayStation Classic, there is Metal Gear Solid, and I'm pretty sure Sony would have had to pay Konami for the license. Not... Mark and Adam from X-Play have been doing games for over 20 years. Yeah, I mean, X-Play is like on the TV. Actually, I don't know how Classic Game Room... I'm pretty sure they were always online. I just imagine it was like you had to download the videos and they were like low quality and it was like off one of those file sharing sites or something like that. Like before YouTube, when you actually had to download every video. I loved G4 back in the early 2000s. Apparently they're bringing G4 back, and it honestly looks really terrible. I didn't really like G4. Granted, I didn't really watch G4 or know about G4 until like I got cable, which was like the early 2010s. And by that point, G4 had pretty much universally gone to shit. But dial-up internet, yeah, I guess. And then you'd have to like download the file because there was like no such thing as video streaming back then, I don't think. Or if it was, it was not in any way reliable. But yeah, I imagine it was like really compressed back in the day. But yeah, I mean, Classic Game Room. I would not. You know, Classic Game Room is like The Simpsons. Everybody likes it. Everybody likes The Simpsons. We don't need to see any more of The Simpsons. It did its time. At some point, it needs to end. Whatever. Actually, I would say the same thing as, I'd say the same thing with, like, the Angry Video Game Nerd at this point, even though I think for him, it's a bit more of a struggle, because, like, he actually did kind of... Or Family Guy! There's so many shows you can point to. Family Guy, you know what? South Park has kind of managed to just sort of, like, defy the laws of physics by still being pretty good. Load fact file, load ID file. Unless, no, was I, yeah, maybe, but like, I talked to everybody. Who else could I talk to? Who else could I talk to? American Dad is greater than Family Guy. I'll be totally honest, I have not seen American Dad since it left Fox and went to TBS. Because I just don't really watch TBS. Now I'm sure it's all on Hulu, but I mean... They're bringing back Futurama even though it ended on a good point. Yeah, they do that. They're also bringing back Beavis and Butthead. That I'm at least somewhat interested in seeing, because the movie was actually surprisingly decent. I mean, it's exactly what you expect, but also that's kind of all you really need. You don't really need a whole lot for Beavis and Butthead. They've been talking about also bringing back King of the Hill and Daria, and I imagine they are probably, that all kind of depends on how well the, yeah. He is really talented. I've never seen Silicon Valley. I hear that's really good. Office Space, I might piss off some of the older people, especially some of the Gen Xers. I never liked Office Space. I think it's because I only recently saw it. I only saw it, like, last year. And I think the problem is it's dated, not in anything that it inherently does, but more so it's just so ubiquitous in culture that it's just lost its appeal, you know? Yeah, I never liked Office Space. I just don't think it's that good of a movie. Silicon Valley I'd probably like. I think that's on HBO, so... Or, no, it might be on Showtime. One of the two, I'm pretty sure you can stream it somewhere. Can I go back to the, Are you those two boys who've been whacking? Are you those two boys who've been whacking off in my shed? That was back during the late 90s, before high-speed internet, yeah. Boys! Bobby! I can do a pretty good Hank Hill, I think. Boy, I tell you what. You're teasing the gorilla in the monkey house again. Okay. Office Space 1999, you need to watch it twice to really appreciate it. Oh, really? I had it on DVD, and, actually I might still. I don't remember. Can't remember if I got rid of it or not, but, like, I did not like that movie. Bobby? What? I say, what is the meaning of this? Beavis and Butthead! God, they're just so... Just their voices alone, they don't have to do anything. But yet, like, they are just so good. I think we're going... Beavis and Butthead, I'm very disappointed in you. Okay? Like, South Park totally jacked the okay thing. Anyway. Mask. Okay, I can go back in. I'm gonna, like, ask the dancer again, because, like, I feel like she's, like, the only one I could maybe get to give me, like, actual information. Yeah, but, and SpongeBob is another one, too. That one, like, that one kind of just needs to go away. Like, I don't know if any of you guys know who L.S. Mark is. He's doing, like, these series. It's, like, ranking every Simpsons episode, ranking every Family Guy. He did one on SpongeBob just recently, and SpongeBob is a bit more interesting, I think, because, like, you know, at some point I outgrew the show. And, somebody with well-formed opinions, but I hate guys. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no. Future projects. There we go. Man's activities, man's description. Keep the description in mind. Okay. They're going to milk SpongeBob until it's dried up. It is dried up, and that's the thing. They're going to milk it even afterwards. Like, that's Nickelodeon's cash cow. Without SpongeBob, they're basically nothing at this point. And I think they've done that to themselves. They overpushed SpongeBob until they had nothing left to milk. Until the original creator died. And after that. And then they just, like, kind of, like, shat in his face as well. But, that's the thing. Nickelodeon has kind of just, like, dug themselves into a hole at this point. Okay, so I got my notepad ready. He kind of had a bony look. So, bony head. Or bony shape, rather. What about his eyes? He had this really piercing gaze. A rather threatening look. Threatening eyes. I'm just writing it down on my iPad. Venture Bros didn't get that final season. That one I've actually never seen. Boondocks is absolutely hilarious. Invader Zim, they brought that back too. I've never seen Invader Zim. That might be one, like, At this point, I'm probably just too old to, like, really enjoy, maybe. If I didn't already grow up with it. A made-for-TV movie. Okay. I mean, right now, Adult Swim, I imagine they're gonna do the same thing with Rick and Morty. Because, like, without Rick and Morty, what other, like, cash cow do they have to the level of that? Like, unless they bring back Boondocks, which they were talking about, but then I guess the original creator kind of pulled out, and there was, like, some sort of controversy there. It was pointy, like mine. Okay. Mouth. He had thin lips, I think. Gosh. Hair. It was sort of naturally flowing towards the back of his head. Okay. Naturally flowing hair parted to the back. Oh, and he had a big widow's peak. Venture Bros is amazing. I might need to check that one out. I know there's a lot of, like, Adult Swim shows that I just never really saw because, you know, they weren't Family Guy. Essentially, like, it takes a lot for me to get into a show, honestly. I don't watch a lot of TV. Like, honestly, there are so many good shows. Like, I started watching The Sopranos. I need to get back into that. I finished Breaking Bad. That's an amazing show. I need to finish House. I need to finish Bones. Criminal Minds. I'm watching, like, some of those shows with a friend. She is. I don't know. Should I just keep her image on screen a little bit longer? His age. He looked like he was in his 30s. Better Call Saul is good. My friend keeps saying that. It starts out really slow, but at the same time, so did Breaking Bad. So maybe I need to check that one out again. Again, I'm watching Stranger Things with my best friend's sister. And we watched, like, the first few episodes. I already watched, like, the first 2 seasons, and the second season was honestly dog shit to a point where it turned me off of the show. But, yeah, the 3rd season is definitely improving from that. That Mr. Yuda didn't know what he was talking about. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, I see. So you had to talk. So you did have to talk to him before you could go back and talk to. Okay, it's like that bullshit. Okay. Ask. Actually, let me just real quick. Let me just make sure. Age, hair, mouth, nose. Okay, we did everything. So, let's go back to Jordan. I still don't know how you're supposed to build a model if you don't have an ID for the person. But, you mean like building a photograph. It would be nice. Isabella could come back to headquarters with us. Well, I can, yeah. Okay, exit. Resident Evil on Netflix is terrible. I've heard it is. I heard it is. You know, just because it worked with Castlevania doesn't mean it's gonna work with everything. I mean, even the movies were kind of just, like, so bad they're good. This just seems like it's so bad it's bad. I've heard some really bad things about the new Resident Evil on Netflix. Okay, exit. Ask. Okay, so move to computer room. So, okay, ask how to use. You have already been registered. Okay. Use Jordan. So how RE should have stayed a cartoon? Was it a cartoon? Hold on a second. Billie Eilish is the villain. You know, I don't know how well she acts. I mean, crazier things have happened. Look at Lady Gaga in American Horror Stories. That worked out really well. You could have done a lot worse. I can't stand today's mainstream music. Okay. As somebody who is very passionate about the music scene, I like a lot of older music. I mostly listen to classic rock. That said, I think that today's music might be at its peak ever since the 90s. 90s music is better, but ever since then, music has kind of been slowing down. So, I always say, no, it's an actor playing an evil wannabe Billie Eilish Wesker. Oh, okay. That's... what the fuck? Anyway. Now, okay. The RE CGI anime movies. Oh, okay. So, in general, now you got me in another rant. I say that the best decades in music are the 70s and the 90s, and both for the same reason. Because they are the moments in music that I consider to be sort of the Renaissance. Like you had like prog bands in the 70s. You had Pink Floyd, you had Yes, and those bands charted. Dark Side of the Moon, for the longest time, was the best-selling album of all time. And even now, 40, 50 years later, it's still in the top 5. I'm pretty sure. And similar in the 90s, you had grunge, you had psychedelic, you had bands like Beck, Elliott Smith. We're just talking about music. And the worst decades in music, I think, are the 80s and the 2000s, and to a lesser extent the 2010s, but I'll get to that in a moment. And those are both bad for the same reason. Music, and especially, music, but also in general, just sort of pop culture, was very utilitarian. This was kind of like the age of like Reagan era politics, and that sort of shone through into the art. Everything seemed so commercialized, and, you know, like, oh, all of your movies are basically the same, all the hairstyles are the same, everybody kind of looked the same. like, that wasn't the case in the 70s and the 90s. And then, hi, Geeks with Cash! Hey, guys. I don't like Pink Floyd anymore. Okay, well, I mean, fair enough, your opinion. I love Pink Floyd. I would actually say Dark Side is my favorite album. But, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. Anyway, 2010s. This was interesting because this was the age where the internet really started to, I think, become mainstream. And with that, you started getting artists that were famous as a result of the internet. It started with Psy and, like, LMFAO, even though that was, like, a mix of internet fame and more so just nepotism because he was related to Berry Gordy. But, shit, I should probably mod Geeks with Cash. I'll do that later. But then, like, as TikTok started coming in, and especially with the advent of Spotify, I think, that's when you started getting, like, the really... yeah, that's right, you just did miss boobies. I'm a big fan of the 80s and 90s music, but there's also... I'm not even... Okay, so... I should also point out these are very general statements. There's a lot of really good 80s music, there's a lot of really good 2000s music, there's a lot of really good 70s music. That said, I think just overall, in terms of culture, 70s and 90s were really good, and the 80s was really bad. I still think Pink Floyd, as musicians, are talented. Roger Waters just got too into politics. Fair enough. I mean, can you really, like, say that's a new thing, though? I mean, like, he wrote an entire album about Animal Farm. Like, Dark Side got pretty political at times. The Wall got kind of political at times. The Final Cut was really political, and I would even say I missed out on Napster. Yeah, well, I didn't use Napster. I used a thing called Cabos, which was like the Mac equivalent of Napster, kind of like right after, like, Napster, like, all the lawsuits and stuff happened. But, anyway, I think that Spotify has given rise to a new renaissance of music. And it's different. It's not about the culture anymore. Because if you want something, it doesn't matter what you're interested in, there is something for you. I'm not that old, but I remember my dad playing 70s music, like CCR, Stones, Billy Joel, Bob Dylan, etc. Yeah, those are all very good acts. I have all of those on vinyl. Yeah, I have all of those on vinyl. Create... Oh, okay, now I can create a montage. Okay. So... Scan database, facial shape. Isabel said the guy had sort of a bony look. Oh, did I not need to write any of that shit down? Oh, okay. Bony look. Okay. It could be any one of the two middle ones. Maybe the bottom middle one might be a little bit more bony. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm gonna say. Understandable. Yeah, 60s hold on. 60s music always reminds me of Vietnam War movie. Yeah, fair enough. It's 2 or... Oh, shit. Okay. Well, can I go back? I can. Okay. I'm gonna say 2, because that one looks more bony. Seed will tell you something is wrong. Okay. That doesn't quite... Okay. 3? That's not like the... That's like not the boniest out of all... Okay, so that's it. He didn't say there was anything wrong. What was it that Isabella said? Okay, so I did need to write that down. Got it. He said that the eyes had like a very menacing look. I remember that. Okay, so it's gonna be 3 then. I guess it could be 5 as well, but I'm gonna say 3. Okay. Let me see, what did I just miss? Are you... Hold on. Are you... Are Grudge or all music fan? I don't understand. Could you rewrite that? Oh! Yeah, could you... Hold on. Are you grunge or alt music fan? Oh! Am I into grunge? Yeah. Not as much into Nirvana. I've kind of listened to his stuff, and I don't know, like, some of the riffs just aren't really that as good as I remember. It's not as good as I remember it being when I was a kid, but I like Nirvana. Alt, yeah, I mean, Alice in Chains is really good, Soundgarden, Meze Star, there's a lot. I mean, I could go on forever. I will say, though, that I absolutely, detest the music of the Beatles. That is you know what? That's a very hot take, but it's you're not alone in having that take. I've definitely met people who share that same sentiment. I've pretty much felt that way since I first heard them in the 80s, too. I can understand that, yeah. Oddly, though, I don't mind some of the individual members' solo output. I've also heard that sentiment before, too. There are people who don't like the Beatles, but they like Wings, or they like George Harrison. I would say George Harrison is probably my favorite Beatle on his own. I used to love John Lennon when I was in high school, but then I graduated high school and realized a lot of his shit was kind of like, I'm 14 and this is deep. Which is good when you're 14, but Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, yeah. Bush is more post-grunge. So between grunge and post-grunge, I'm not really sure how much of a distinction there really is. I definitely... Randy Newman. Fuck Randy Newman. I mean, he did good soundtrack shit, but... Nose. She said pointy nose. So, probably number 1. Yeah, I mean, Randy Newman, look, my childhood favorite movies were scored by Randy Newman, right? Toy Story, Monsters Incorporated. He's done a lot of stuff. His actual songwriting, or his actual lyricism, and he'll admit as such, is pretty bad. Like, he was questioned about the song Short People. Like, are you making fun of little people? Like, no, I meant short as in, short fused. It didn't come across because I'm not a good lyricist. He will admit as such that he was a bad lyricist. Thin lips. I didn't need to write this down. I kind of just memorized it. It's 2, I'm gonna say. Oh my god, he looks just... Hairstyle. This is gonna be interesting. Because there was a lot she said about the... I just don't like Randy's voice. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason. Eyes are 6? Are you sure? Okay. Widow's Peak. Maybe 4? Hair is 1. Are you sure? Okay. Okay. Oh my god, he kind of looks like... Oh my god, he looks exactly like Beavis now. In fact, if he had, like, the pointier chin I had earlier, he would look exactly like him. Evil Asian... Oh my god, see, I didn't want to say that, but you did. I was thinking the same thing. Lips are a 3. Okay. Are you sure? Okay. I'll do it. Oh, I guess that, yeah, that could work. Yeah, because those are thin lips, too. And eyes are a 6. I guess this can work. Yeah. It's not as, like, threatening as the other one, though. That's, like, the key thing I took. Did you at least like 80s toys or cartoons? I mean, I didn't grow up with them, so I can't really comment on that. Obviously, I was born in 1998. I mean, I don't know. I like 80s cartoons purely for how, like, so bad or they're good they are. And again, I don't hate 80s music. There's a lot of 80s bands I love. You know, everything from, like, Metallica to Kate Bush to, you know, I even like the cheesy 80s pop. I'm just saying, as a whole, generally speaking, if we're painting things in a broad brush. Okay, so 6? Are you okay? I'm going back to the one I had then because it's saying no match found. So 3. You have to watch 80s tunes now with a bucket of salt. Yeah, exactly. Hair is wrong. Okay. I thought so. Somebody said that it was, what did they say the hair was? 1? Yeah. Okay. Eyes, okay. Let's go back to this then. I'm gonna... Okay, he's not saying anything bad about that, so... Let's see. Let's see. What should I go to? Widow's Peak. Hang on. Let me, like, actually look at the notes again. I thought it was 1... Try 2. Okay. Okay. Naturally flowing hair, parted in the back, big widow's peak. I don't know. I don't know about that, but I could... I guess that... Yeah, that would work, wouldn't it? Let's try this. Possible match located. Okay. There you go. Thank you, guys. Oh my god, he kind of looks like my one friend. Just pissed. My friend has, like, that exact same widow's peak. Sorry, I don't have any tips. I remember... but my Sega CD broke. Yeah, I mean, now the game is expensive as shit, so good luck. Two possible matches. Okay. Probability of match 70%. 27 years old. Okay, yeah, in his 30s. I mean, 27 is like mostly 30, so it could be. Probability of match 65%. Age 29 years old. So neither one of them are actually in their 30s, but this one is the closest. It could be... montage photos. Okay. I have to do both. Okay. I mean, fair. People aren't going to get age exactly right. Gillian Seed is the only junker taking down an army of T-800s. Let's go investigate. All right. Go to the front. Actually, let's go into the Chernocycle and then... But you visit both guys at different times. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you go... Let's go to Ivan first. Should I... No, I'll keep going a little bit longer. I'm wondering if I should, like, end the stream pretty soon. I'll investigate this person and then go. This place is a real slum. Rude. Look, investigate. Search for Ivan. What did he say? Metal Gear will tell you this person isn't home right now. Visit the other person and vice versa. Okay. I remember having to pass this game up, no clearance, no less. On clearance, no less, because I had no money. Never saw it again after that. Ooh. You know what? I'll comfort you by telling you my really stupid mistake. Well, I mean, that's not a mistake. You didn't have money. But I had a Super Nintendo. I got it at a yard sale for like $10. And included was... There was like some more common games like Mario World, obviously, that came with the machine. There was Congo's Capers. There was I don't remember what other ones. Link to the Past. But it had Mega Man X3 and Super Mario RPG. I then went around, sold it on Craigslist for like $50. I actually got an email from somebody just after I sold it for $50, saying like, hey, Mario RPG is worth like that alone. And that was like 10 years ago, so now Mario RPG is probably insane. Just, don't feel bad, we can't predict the market. Yeah, we can. That was just me poorly predicting the market of the present, though, so that's probably worse. I was a kid, but, I mean, I fucked up. I did end up buying another Super Nintendo, though. I still have it, but, I don't have the AC adapter. I don't know what I did with it. I might have thrown it out because it just looked like all the other generic kind of like barrel plugs. But it's not. It like Super Nintendo is its own proprietary size. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to this other person's place, and then, we'll stop here. I mean, if nothing else, Sega CD is probably better to play on an emulator anyway, because, like, you can do this. And this skips a lot of the text, so you don't have to, like, wait as long for it to load. Plus, you know, you can do that to skip some of the loading times as well. You know, early CD games especially, you're gonna really want that fast-forward button. Also, games are and hardware probably don't work good now. Yeah, probably. Retro games, yeah, I mean, it depends. CD-based consoles especially have a very high PC emulators, seems great for retro gaming, less clutter, yeah. It depends. Like, NES is about as reliable as it ever was. Like, if you look into it, like, you know, people are talking about, oh, the 72-pin doesn't work on my NES anymore. That was a problem back in the day. It was like the Joy-Con drift. Like, people back then, you had to, like, open up your Nintendo and then, you know, hire someone to fix it for you. Of course, now those people don't exist anymore, so you have to do it yourself, but, you know, thankfully, at least with the NES, it's a really easy project to do. Everything else that's cartridge-based, you can pretty much expect it to work. At least if it looks relatively decent, it probably plays well. Super Nintendos usually work really well, Sega, Master System, Genesis, because there's basically nothing in them. It's just a cartridge slot, a PCB, and that's about it. I bought Dragon Warrior 3 on the Game Boy Color, and the battery was dead. I couldn't save the game. That's the thing, though, is with battery backup. Thankfully, all of my battery backups in my old games work, but, you know, you can't always, you know, rely on that. I own an Atari 2600 that still fires up games like it was brand new. I had an Atari, and it worked for about 2 weeks after I bought it. I have an Intellivision, though, still, and that still works flawlessly. I think there's some noise in the signal. That's mostly down, I think, to, like, trying to replicate a digital signal on, analog. But, yeah. Let's go into the room. The second floor, right? Let's go. You need a soldering tool to replace Game Boy card for all batteries, like Super Nintendo, NES, it doesn't matter. Well, that's, though, like, why emulation is so good, is because, you can even buy, like, things to transfer over your save data to, like, if you have, like, a Zelda card, for example, on NES, you can buy, like, an adapter that transfers over your saves so that you always have them. Like, if you're, like, really nostalgic for whatever reason about your, you know, save that you had in Zelda when you beat the game from, like, 30, 40 years ago, you can back that up to a computer. It's like this, I think Hyperkin makes them, and they're really cheap, like $30. I think they work for NES and Super NES, or it might be Genesis and Super NES. It's like a little USB thing you can plug the cartridges into. Yeah, I'm not good with that stuff. Yeah, me neither. Knock. To do that with my PlayStation memory card files. There's clone systems with that work better with original than the original and can work. I mean, honestly, if you're doing a clone system, just go emulation. Most of those are just NES on a chip things anyway. There's things like the analog, that's like $500 though. Honestly, you can buy, I'm pretty sure you can still buy an original Nintendo for like $100. Just replace the pins, and I mean, you won't get like all of the you know, HD mods and shit like that, but I mean, realistically, if you're gonna play your Nintendo games in HD, just emulate them. That's not what they were designed to do. No, I just want to back up my save files in case the memory cards go bad. Oh, yeah, like, no, he's talking about, like, the memory cards in the PlayStation. I've heard that's possible, but I don't know how to do it. I've never really had a need to. Well, you know what? They do make, like, memory card adapters for, like, PlayStation and PlayStation 2 that you can plug into your PS3. Those might work on computer. Okay, you can knock louder. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the other place tomorrow, but for right now, let's go back to the turbo cycle. I may have to look into that. I don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if that'll work, but I know that they exist. They are I think they are like little USB dongles that you plug into the PlayStation 3. And you can like back up your memory cards, or I don't even know if you can back them up. You can definitely view them on the PlayStation 3. I'm not sure if that works with computer though. Please, I implore you, do your own research. Okay, I'll actually just okay. So let's just save here. And just to be absolutely sure, we are going to save state. And go, well, wait, don't quite go. I did promise something. I'm a man of my word. Okay, so it's Axley, I believe. So let's go to Super Nintendo because I don't think I've played this game before. Unless they like released it on NSO, which I don't think they did. It is there. Bust a Move. I didn't even know that existed on Super Nintendo. Oh wait, it's Oh, okay. There we go. It's literally the last one in the A's. Got it. Let's do this. That's an awesome. Yeah. This is like the only theme for Emulation Station that actually works on my thing. Axley. All right. Let's try that. Well, what does this have to do with Konami? I don't think this is a Konami game. Unless, is this a Cracktro? That might have been a Cracktro. Sometimes games have that. This run might not work. I'll tell you what. I'm going to look at RetroArch because I think that might have more stuff that doesn't appear on the main menu. RetroArch does not have as sexy of an interface, but it is a good nuclear option. Oh wait, no. Axley, the first why is it not there? I have like literally a million. Why is it not there? There's like literally how many different things, and Axley is not one of them. Is it Gunstar Heroes? Is that the same thing? I know it as Gunstar Heroes. I've never heard of it as Axley. Also, that's on... Wait. You don't seem to have... Okay. I'll need to check it out. If it's the same thing as Gunstar Heroes, I've never heard of it called Axley before. That one, I think, is... Hang on. Did you Also, that's on Sega, right? Gunstar Heroes? Oh, okay. I was confused. I was like, wait, is Gunstar Heroes the same thing as Axlay? Well, I'm not going to play Gunstar Heroes now, but if you want to request ROMs, I have a series ongoing alongside this one called ROM Roulette and Requests. What is this? I don't know. CD romance. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see you. I see what you did. Cool. Thanks. I'll check that out. I'll download that ROM and maybe I'll play it on Saturday. But I have a series called ROM Roulette and Requests, and what I do, as you can see here, I have over 90,000 ROMs at this point. I actually just added a whole bunch of them because I just downloaded a whole bunch of DOS games. The ones that don't have anything, that's just like ones where it doesn't have the theming. Like this one, these are all my Fairchild Channel F games. RetroArch supports it, but grazie. Truxton, yeah. So you can request your ROMs, then. If you are available on Saturday, I highly recommend checking it out. I had a lot of fun the last 2 times I did it. I got to experience a whole bunch of things. Not a whole lot of requests. There was one person who requested something. I can't remember who it was. Actually, it was Yugo. Yugoslav recommended Moon Ranger for NES, which was a terrible game, but interesting in how terrible it was. So, bottom line is, if any of that interests you, I have 97,255 games just on Emulation Station. RetroArch might have a little bit more that aren't showing up for whatever reason. So, if you want to recommend a game, anything up to like Sega, Genesis, PlayStation, Game Boy Advance, I'm probably going to have it. Game Boy, any of the handhelds, basically anything like before PlayStation, I probably have it. If there's a core for it on RetroArch, I probably have it. And I have like a whole bunch of old PC games as well. DOS, Commodore, VIC-20, Amiga. Actually, no, Amiga, I might rain check on that one because I still kind of need to figure that out. I need to use like a different emulator for Amiga, but once I figure that out, I'll be able to do it. Things down to like the Electronica BK, an obscure Soviet era computer. The thing I'm pretty sure Tetris was programmed on. So bottom line, check that out. I had a lot of fun playing this. I'm going to be doing Snatcher every Tuesday, unless I have something to do, in which case I'll probably... somebody actually recommended I open up a Twitter for my... to advertise my YouTube channel. I'm thinking of that. I don't know exactly what I'd use a Twitter for, but I might do that, and in the future, I'll be able to post if I, for whatever reason, can't do a stream that day. But until then, as always, good night, and God fucking damn it.